we have a very special episode for you tonight.
And a special guest. 2, actually. Alcohol.
There are many alcohols around.
Yeah.
But the reason that this is a special episode is A, because this is the last episode of the year.
This is true.
But also, this is doubly special because some of you longtime listeners might remember we set out to create an experimental 12 episodes of the Standard Humans podcast.
If you're down with episode 0/1, whatever it's called now.
I think I'm going to change it to 1.
Change it to
I
1,
haven't
okay.
yet, but I will probably when this goes out.
Okay.
Just for those people who skip episode zeros and prologues, you know who you are.
Yeah. Don't do that.
It's weird.
You need to know.
But yeah, this is a special episode. So we have some drinks and we're here to review, just talk about how the year's gone, how the podcast's gone.
Anyway, so we're going to, during this podcast, like Aiden said, you good to drink there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's already going on.
Okay, so.
There's going to be so much editing.
Oh, this is going to be great. This is why this is so early. Why we've done this so early.
I have all of Christmas, or a lot of Christmas break to do
It's
this.
actually September.
Yeah, we pre-recorded everything back
Yeah.
in July.
It was all one day.
Man, that would be crazy. If we just do a day of recording and then release it throughout the year.
And then be like, well, since we talked last time, I really tried using that strategy. And it helped me so much in that 2 weeks. And it's actually just like we haven't done shit. We've just been sitting there eating Doritos.
Just making shit up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I've accomplished this goal, done this, done that.
That could be true.
Yeah.
You guys don't know.
That's possible, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so this podcast, we're going to review our year. Not review our year. Just sort of run through it.
Year review.
Yeah.
Yeah, that popped up.
Stop. I give it a solid 7.5 at least, probably. Been decent.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
I'd say that it depends on what I'm thinking about.
What are you thinking about?
Because it's like, oh man, there's so many things that happened.
Yeah.
So many different things. There's school, there was some work, there's this podcast, there's Toastmasters, there's all
Toast.
sorts of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Overall,
Yeah, overall,
rating
if
out of
you
10
average them all
right
together.
now. I'm going to call this year. Oh, now I'm just getting really in my head and trying to give each category weights. No, but
I mean, mine
what?
I just based entirely off how I'm feeling right now.
fair. You know what? Let's go for 9.
Damn, it's been
Yeah.
a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's I can't decide between 7.5 and an 8, so I'm going to say 7.75.
Interesting. Why is it that you're saying 7.5 or 7.75?
7.75.
Yeah.
0.
Gotta get that level of precision.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Most of my year has been working at jobs instead of school. So that's been weird. I think like school in the summer is not a good time, so it's bringing it down. Like
Oh,
it was
fair.
it was a good time as in like still a fun semester, but it was summer. So everyone's off at home just like, oh, I slept till whatever today because I didn't have work, and then like just like ate an entire bag of Cheetos, and I'm like, must be nice.
Yeah, that must be.
It would be bumped up a solid amount without summer school. But other than that,
Not bad.
pretty good. Pretty good year.
Hmm.
Don't sue us, the tire company.
No, I gotta say, the thing that probably drags my year down the most, as many listeners might know from the last episode, has got to be the school.
Okay.
Just hating it, especially like recently over this year. There's been a bad time,
Yeah.
but a lot of other good things happened. Like we started this podcast, and I started with Toastmasters, and I decided to get the hell out of aerospace engineering. I've only got a few weeks left as of recording this. When this goes up, I will be long done,
Oh.
which is just mind-boggling.
Pretty
That's
blessed.
amazing. Yeah.
Huh. So are you still finishing your credits for this semester?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
plan.
okay, cool. You're not just gonna like send your last assignments as like a scan of your butt.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
You'd
just
probably get like a 25. I don't know.
yeah, maybe.
Effort was put.
So I think I gave the year so high of a score despite that because of how optimistic I'm feeling
Okay.
for the next year. And I didn't like the majority of this year, but I got a number of things that are so good that I'm fired up to continue with
Okay.
that like I don't regret anything so much because like I feel like I'm in a pretty good place.
You're kind of inspiring me to raise up my number a bit.
Oh yeah?
Because
yeah?
I did have a bunch of great stuff. Like, I met my girlfriend, and I...
You know, not bad. Solid, like at least a 6 out of 10.
yeah. Relationship rating, at least a 6.
Not bad.
Shout out because you listen. Love
Yeah.
you. And as well, got back into running. Like, I've just had a good time gallivanting around with friends when I'm working and not in school. Just stuff like that. Just being like, I've been pretty chill.
Nice.
This
Not
year.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been doing anything like insanely great, but it's been very, very chill.
I want to check how the weight loss was this year. This is in kilograms, so I don't fully understand it.
Oh, I got you.
But like 80, what's that? I'm going to say 7 down to 79.
Holy.
Yeah.
It's 8 kilos.
Yeah.
That's quite decent. That's like,
Yeah, so that's
it's like almost 20 pounds. I'd
yeah,
say.
about over the past year.
Holy.
And
Sure,
like
it's fitting a little bit looser, eh?
yeah, actually, especially since I like started losing weight. This is the graph. It starts off at like 100 like about 2 years ago.
100 kilos?
Yeah.
When were you 100 kilos?
Like end of first year.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, really started to get up there.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
Yeah, you
been
look
just a
good.
steady decline. So like it's been going good, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like very slow, I think healthy progress.
Yeah, it's not just like stop eating one day and then you just become
Exactly.
a skeleton.
Yeah, just a lot of good stuff, you know? Can't let shitty things that I'm trying to cut out or have been cutting out get my score down.
This is true.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the metric system. Kilos over pounds any day. Same with every other metric. You know?
I agree with you. I don't have any frame of reference for kilograms. People don't use it
Yeah.
enough for me to understand.
I'm 182 centimeters tall and I'm about 78 kilos.
Oh, so you're like a little bit taller than PewDiePie. Cool.
Short. PewDiePie's tiny. Did I ever tell you the story about one of my friends who will not be named because this is a story about a fake ID?
No, I don't think you have.
So basically, he got a fake ID. I don't know where he got it from, but when it was when we just turned 19, well, I just turned 19 because I have a later birthday. We were at a bar, and he was showing me his old fake ID that he used. I think he said he used it when he was like 16, maybe 16 or 17, and it worked a few times. But he doesn't know metric, and it's the funniest thing ever.
Okay.
He, I don't know how this. I guess they don't look at the height and weight when they let you into a bar. But he's like regular size dude. He's like 5'8", 5'9",
Okay.
maybe like 150, 160 pounds, which would be like, I don't know, somewhere like 68 kilos, 175 centimeters, and his skin ID said that he was 155 centimeters and like 120 kilos.
Okay. Alrighty then.
So if you turn that back, it's like I think 5'5" and like 270 pounds or something.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So, his ID said he was a thick boy.
Short and stout. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Man in his ID was shaped like an actual peanut. like an almond.
Okay. Interesting.
But it works. So
Mm-hmm.
I do not condone the usage of fake IDs. He didn't steal this one or anything. He just made it and it worked, but like still.
What else do you want to talk about, like, year-wise? Because we did, like, a quick overview, right?
Well, we can talk about the podcast. We can talk
Yeah,
about how
sure.
our plans, like what our experience from the past, where it is right now, and what we're gonna do in the future.
I don't know. What were your expectations going into the podcast?
Going into the podcast, I hadn't
Yeah.
really followed any that much, but I'd mostly just like seen content creators like Ryan Higa and them, their podcast,
Yeah.
and just like
yeah.
listen to it. And it seems like very natural. Like they sort of have like a flow going, especially when they have like guests.
Yeah.
It seems very natural, and I was just sort of like, how do they just talk for that amount of time and make it seem natural and not say just and but and like all the time.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to see like some sort of insight into how you could just sort of like get like a groove and that sort of thing, like, you know, like just keep talking and not make it boring and not ramble for a good amount of time. Just keep up the quality banter.
Yeah.
And I would say it has become a bit easier. You catch your ums and uhs a bit more. And I don't know. I was also seeing what you had to. I was curious what you had to say in like health and
Yeah.
just life. You know, because it's just like a lifestyle sort of podcast. I was curious about that sort of stuff. We never really like chatted about that much, like a little bit, but not
Yeah. Not really.
very much
I
at
don't
all.
think so. Yeah.
So I was curious what your takes would be on that. I was also curious to see how it would go. If it would be like literally no one would listen at all. I never really cared. I wasn't like, I need like millions of people to listen right now. But I was curious, like, will anybody listen? So I don't know. How about you? What were yours?
I don't know what my expectations were listenership wise. I think I went back a lot with absolutely no one will listen, and we're going to be literally famous. People will be like running up to me in the streets.
Oh my God, you're that podcast guy.
But like, you know, somewhere in between those two.
You're that
And I
guy.
think we've hit that pretty well.
You're the guy who guards the toast.
But yeah, no, I don't think I really knew what was going to happen at all. I just kind of wanted to see what would happen partly.
Okay, yeah.
I had no frame of reference for how this kind of thing happens or goes.
Same here.
Yeah.
I was like, like all these like podcasts and YouTube shows and stuff you listen to, you're like, what makes you start this? Like something like one of my favorite shows, like The Weekly Planet.
Yeah, no, I think my only frame of reference was some pretty massive podcasts, stuff like Hello Internet. Like the last time I checked their
Yeah.
Patreon, it was like $10,000 an episode or something.
Holy, how often do they upload an episode?
Once or twice a month.
It's like $180,000 a year.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's pretty good. Yeah, expectations about podcasting.
Yeah.
That I would get super rich and famous.
That's fair. Yeah, same. And you know, we've succeeded.
Yeah.
So we're good. Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of this journey.
We didn't show you the analytics in Canada. It's actually 2.8 million. Hey, just back on this year in your view thing.
Yeah.
What would you say have been some absolute highlights of the year? Like specific, like not just like things you've done, like specific like moments of these things.
Interesting. Okay. You know what I will go with, because the first highlight that comes to mind is when I went to Humber College actually for the first time to
Yeah.
go on the tour, and I was just standing there looking around at all like the cottages, because it's like a U of like brick buildings basically.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really nice.
they're called cottages?
Yeah, they call them cottages.
Huh.
It's actually, most of the campus it was an old, like, I'm gonna call it psychiatric facility, but like a nice one, not one of the horror kind of ones.
Okay.
So like really like nice grass and everywhere, and like pretty brick buildings and stuff. And then
Not
the
like Scare PewDiePie episode 7.
no, not at all. And like the insides have been completely renovated, so it's all modern on the inside, but like these beautiful brick buildings on the outside, and it's on the lake, and there's all these nice walking paths everywhere, and
Okay.
they keep it like hella clean, like it's pristine,
Yeah.
which is the opposite of downtown Toronto.
Yes.
I mean, it's still decent at downtowns as far as downtowns go, but it's not anywhere near the same.
Yeah.
I was just standing there thinking, like, yeah, I could see myself here. I could see myself like editing the podcast here, or like making videos here, like
Yeah.
going for walks and thinking, this
And,
is
like,
good.
Contributing to like
Or going to
'cause
class.
You go to class there, so
Yeah.
you'd be like a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, I could actually see myself here.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Seeing something that you appreciate just like for its own thing, and then being like, I'm going to be a part of this.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool.
Hmm.
Do you have a moment?
My first date with my girlfriend was quite nice.
Oh, yeah? Please tell us more.
I
don't
won't say
Yeah, you don't have to. if
I
you
won't
don't
say
want to.
too much, but
Drink some more wine before you do.
oh yeah, for sure. I'm almost done it already.
Jesus, man. I'm like halfway through mine and you're done.
Don't judge me. No, but
I'm leaving that to the listeners, man. If they want to judge you, go for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I would just say it's another moment of being like pleasantly surprised. Like, oh, you're different and very nice.
I forgot you were talking about the date for a second there. I thought you were talking about me, and it's like, what?
No,
Okay.
don't worry.
But okay, cool,
You're
cool.
mediocre.
That's fair. I am, in fact, a standard human.
So am I.
It's true, yeah. You're okay. Not like our above average humans on the Patreon.
Yeah, our above average humans are gamers and standard humans.
But yeah, that's a good moment. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another one. Probably realizing that I like fully mastered the public transport system in Ottawa.
Oh, yeah?
And Gatineau is pretty cool.
Okay.
Because like just not needing to use my phone to get pretty much anywhere I want to go.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that feels like you're like, I'm a street shack.
Like anywhere you need to go in Ottawa, or
Like pretty much. Just because you just like figure out, and you can look at the maps and stuff that they have there. So I'm just like, okay, so I'll just take this one and then take this one. And you're like, oh, I'm from these streets, boy. Street shack.
Shit, I don't even do that in Toronto.
I know, right?
I mean, it's too complicated for me to
I
know
mean,
any of it.
I never need to bus to the East End, because like, why would you ever go there? But anywhere between Canada, West Ottawa, Central Ottawa, and Gatineau, especially with a train, I know how to get there. Up to like U Ottawa, like going to a pub right by U Ottawa, and then getting home by taking a train and then a bus and then another bus, and not needing to look anything up and being like, I know this shit, man.
Damn, not bad, not bad.
Okay, trade me another one.
You know what? I think there have been a few cool moments related to Toastmasters, especially like since I've been taking on like leadership opportunities and like really putting some effort into the club.
Yeah.
But one that was really good was at the open house back in October.
Mhm.
I gave a speech just talking about my experience generally with Toastmasters.
Okay.
And afterwards, a guy came up to me and he said, wow, your speech was so good. I was sitting there and thinking to myself, one day I'm going to join Toastmasters and I'm going to be able to speak as good as him.
I need to listen to one of your speeches, my dude.
Like, I don't think they're that good. Like that's extra, but yeah, that felt great.
I can imagine. It's just like, hey, that thing that you've been working at, you're really good at it. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, nice.
Yeah, seriously. Just going to quickly plug, I guess, my YouTube channel and website, because I do have recordings of a lot of the speeches.
You
there.
have the one about starting a podcast.
I
know
do,
that for
yeah.
Sure, 'cause
That
I've
is
seen that
there.
one. That was
And there
good.
are several others, yeah.
I need to subscribe to you. I'm actually not
Yeah,
right now.
do it, man.
I just realized that I'm actually not subscribed.
Yeah.
Like, would you say that joining Toastmasters has sort of been the same effect as like when we did drama class in grade 9 and stuff?
I'd say Toastmasters I've found is better, partly because of the environment. I think there's a real like positive, let's all kind of get better
Okay.
together and work on ourselves together and improve ourselves together. Whereas drama, though it definitely did help with getting me like more comfortable with getting in front of crowds and all
Yeah.
that, it wasn't the same vibe. It was more so, let's all get our art credit done together.
Yeah. Drama for me, like before I took drama, I only took it like 1 year, but I was super shy before that. I would like do a class presentation in front of like 20 people,
Yeah.
and I would be like sweating after, and I would like, it would be like a blank. Like I would not even remember what I said just because I was so like, oh, like on guard. But then after it was like even just like socially, I was just like more comfortable. I was less shy. I was basically not shy at all. So maybe I should join Toastmasters because speaking is a good thing to be able to do.
Yeah, it is. And it's a time and a half. It's just a lot of fun.
I feel like this podcast is devolving into just a large ad for Toastmasters. That's not the intention, but if they want to sponsor us, that would be welcome.
Yeah, I think I just unintentionally just constantly throw out ads for it because I was like in charge of recruiting for a month or two there, getting the club membership up. So
it's just in your brain now.
yeah, it's just ingrained in me. I just go into the pitch. Like I was about to launch into the whole like explanation of the program and everything there. But if you guys want, you can go to toastmasters.org and check it out. I won't launch into the pitches here, but it's a good time.
It's like when I worked at a grocery store, it just sort of stays with you for years after. Whenever anybody, like, I'm shopping with my family or something, and they're like, "Ah, man, there's no tag on this lime. What's the code for it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got you. 4079."
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like when just like one of my friends will be like, we're just like shopping together, and they're like, "I'm having trouble finding malt vinegar." And I'm like, "Oh, malt vinegar. You should find that in the seasonings and cooking needs section, probably aisle 2." And they're like,
Oh, that's funny.
"Okay."
It's like, all right, thanks. That's odd.
Yeah.
Helpful, but okay.
Yeah. And it was there.
Oh, sick.
I
Okay.
know shit.
Good stuff. Wow. Good job.
Yeah. Wasn't even the one I worked in.
Damn.
If it was the one I worked in, I'd be like, I know exactly where that is.
Any other highlight memories from you?
I'm trying to think of like general stuff because I'm not going to say anything like personal.
That's fair. Yeah.
But starting this new job has been nice because it's some adult shit. Like having a cubicle and stuff. I'm like, I don't see myself as being like an office worker because I don't think anybody does really. They're not like, fucking love cubicles, man.
It's
so
the
sick.
best.
So sick.
My little box.
Yeah. But that's actually when you're like, holy, I'm like 19 years old, full on adult over here. I could have a wife and kids and be fine. I don't, but I could.
You could.
Yeah.
Do it right
I
now.
could and we would
Propose.
not die of starvation. So that's pretty cool. Just like knowing that you're like actually self-sufficient. Like sort of, like at the end of high school when you're going into university, you're like, I still don't even feel remotely prepared to like have a mortgage and like have a full-time job like for the rest of my life and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It is sort of just like gradually you're like, oh yeah, I can actually like, I get it.
It's possible.
Yeah, it is possible. I will live in a house and have food to eat when I'm older. Huh.
It's the weirdest thing talking to first years and they're constantly bringing up high school.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you remember this? Oh, right. You just did that, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it's also because we moved out of town. A bunch of my
Yeah.
friends who I talk to who live still in town and haven't left forever, like literally ever.
Yeah.
Like they've left, but they like have always lived here.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll say something about like, oh, do you remember when this happened in high school? It's like, oh yeah, it was this teacher and this, and I'm like, fucking who?
I do not remember most
Yeah,
of the
exactly. I
names.
remember
Yeah.
like 4 teachers, and they're like, you gotta remember Miss Whoever, and I'm like, what did she look like? Like,
Sure. Maybe.
yeah, like the stuff like that does not stay with you when you leave town, but apparently when you stay, it does. That's why I'm glad that I eat like for literally just leaving town. No matter where you go, you'll have a whole lot of character building.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Just like you'll find a whole new part of yourself being completely independent, and that's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. That's been a highlight of this year for sure. Like it hasn't been just this year because I moved into an apartment sort of like at the start of second year,
Yeah.
but that's a very interesting thing.
Yeah. Definitely would recommend moving out when you're financially able to do so.
Yeah.
Because university really isn't that different from high school academically.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's more of the same shit.
Like if you structured it the same way, like if you just worked for
Yeah.
what is it, 6 hours? Yes, 6.5 hours, 7 hours.
Well,
And
you have a
then-
lot more freedom or flexibility, I
Yeah.
would say, generally. But academically, like, you're doing the same shit, like the same assignments, going to class.
Pretty much.
It feels very similar.
Yeah, but it's just like a large part of the change is just keeping yourself alive and stuff. Like the priorities are so different, I find, in people who have never left and are like 20, 21, and people who have lived on their own now for like 3 years. it's you're in a very different state of mind.
How so?
Well, I would say you're just like you're more aware of everything. Like sort of when you live at home, depending on your situation, you don't need to think about the money for groceries or like actually buying them yourself.
That's true. Yeah.
Probably you'll share at least one meal with people per day, ideally, like at least for cooking. Like at least somebody will help you cook for like one meal a day. There's TV, like cable and phones and stuff, like home phones and whatever, and electricity you don't need to pay for.
It's all the necessities that your parents have come to pay for and like get used to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas you don't have any of that when you're living on your own. Yeah. So, because like, why are you gonna buy cable when you're in university? You know?
Yeah, there's really no point. Here. Yeah. Zoom right onto the internet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the internet superhighway, the internet information superhighway. It's pretty. It's nice to have a break every so often, like say like in summer or something when you come home for a few months and live there to just sort of reset from like stress or whatever. Sure. I mean, well, but I've
never done that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to because you have like you live with your spouse, so it's like 50% of that stuff shared.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's like I'm taking care of another person, and another person is taking care of me. It's a very obviously without that goes without saying, it's a very different relationship than like living at home with your family. Extremely, extraordinarily different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just in terms of the responsibilities,
what you
have to do, it's very different.
You have to actually like talk about it more, probably like, hey, so who's gonna do like laundry this day? Who's gonna vacuum and whatever, and
that kind of stuff. Dishes. Yeah. Or sometimes like you get busy and you just don't for a while, or like sometimes they get busy and you have to pick up the slack a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where that's the difference between roommates and.
Yeah,
like,
I would not pick up the slack for a roommate.
Yeah, if it's a roommate, you're just like, hey, can do your chores. But if it's a spouse, that's a little rude.
Yeah, that would be extraordinarily rude. Yeah.
Can do your chores. Shit, man.
That would not go over well.
I was in town for my grandma's birthday. Do your chores. That might be a little harsh.
Maybe a little, yeah. Maybe a little. I don't know. You can try it when you move in.
Yeah. Whenever I move in with a partner, I'll just be like, they like leave like 3 dishes. Can do your dishes, please. This is your duty this week. See the little wheel there? The little wheel with all the chores? Yours is on dishes this week. Mine is on vacuuming. So do your dishes.
This is the most petty shit, and that's great. Okay.
Yeah. I've never lived in a house with one of those wheels, but I'm moving into a place with me and a buddy are moving into 2 bedrooms in a 5-bedroom house where the 3 people have lived there for the past like couple years, and we don't know them at all.
Oh, all right.
Never seen their faces, so don't know their names.
Okay.
So maybe we should start one of those chore wheels.
See how they've been getting on, how they've organized.
Yeah,
it, if they have, but
let's do what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're post grad, so they're scary and probably
old.
Stay in their rooms 100% of the time.
Man, they might be old enough to be millennials.
We hate those.
Yeah. Weird
avocado toast millennials.
It's so weird to think that millennials are old. Like older than us.
Like 30s now? The 30s?
Yeah, I guess. It ends around like 96. I think it's like a 20-year period. So 76-ish.
That's a massive span, 20 years. So they can be anywhere between like 22 to 42. 42.
Yeah. Millennials are old, man.
Yeah. We are Gen Z, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is the dumbest shit since we were born last millennium, but like.
Yeah. What? How are we not millennial? I guess it's because they were impressionable during the change of the millennium. So that's like how they formed their personality.
Yeah, I think that is it. But like I remember the last millennium very clearly. There was like a full 4 months there, even more, like an extra week on top of that.
I had a full 2 weeks. 3
not
weeks.
Not bad, yeah.
I had a full 3, well, not quite 3 weeks, a little under 3 weeks.
But yeah, no, we're Zoomers.
Yeah. Now, who's Gen X?
That would be our parents, I think.
Between boomers and millennials?
Yeah, it's weird. Gen X is only like 10 years.
Oh, okay.
It's like 65 to 75, kind of.
But that is all our parents.
And then boomers are like 45 to 65.
No, boomers are old. Oh, like 1945.
Yeah, 1945.
Okay, I'm like,
that's
not
age.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Geez, yeah, you do start to get to the point where you're talking about age and years. It's the same numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and what's the next generation going to be after Gen Z?
I don't know.
Is it
It's-
going to be, what does Excel do? It's like
It's been going
AA?
for like 25, almost 25 years now. So
Gen
24. So Gen 1,
Ooh,
like
maybe.
Xbox.
Oh, man, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And people Gen 2,
Oh, of course.
human generation 3.
Human 2.0.
Ooh, that's better, yeah.
Yeah.
Human 3.0.
Speaking of the future,
Yeah.
what are the future plans for this podcast? Hey, such a good segue.
We said that we were going to do 12. So, we've fulfilled our commitment. I don't know. Do you need to make
Let's
any
stop.
more? Yeah, just stop
Stop
it right
now. Okay, bye.
Done with podcasting. It was a cool experiment, but
Yeah. We were talking about in the past podcasts making our thematic year
yeah.
or whatever. What's yours for this one again?
I need to come up with like a 1 or 2 word thing, but it was the general gist of it was to become the best marketer that I can be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with. I don't know if I want to lean more towards like online content creation or marketing or all that stuff, but do I say?
Well, you
marketing?
probably market online as well.
Yeah, no, it would be, but I mean, like
Getting radio spots.
Like there's working in media, and then there's working in like digital creation or like creating the assets or marketing it. They're 2 very separate skills, but I mean, you need both of them for something like this.
I'll let you think on that.
Yeah. I will need to come up with something a little bit better. Do you have you come up with a theme for next year?
Yeah, I would say so. Just depending on because of my personality, I would say I move very sporadically between interests. Like, oh, now I'm super interested in learning this language. Now I want to read all these kinds of books and learn all about this. Or now I really want to get super into this type of cooking or something. I'm going to say for the next year-ish, I'm going to focus on just being well-balanced throughout all my interests and all my commitments and I guess all my relationships as well. Just not leaning too much into one thing in neglect of other parts.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So how would that turn out? How would that be different from what you're doing?
Just becoming like more satisfied overall, specifically in all my commitments I have to do, like in school and sports and work and all that, like to balance them well instead of going through just sort of periods of focusing on one or another.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've never, I don't think once in my life made a New Year's resolution, so I won't say this is that.
This isn't a resolution. Resolutions are dumb.
Yeah. It's just balance is something I think is important in life, so I'm just going to focus on finding balance.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Which sort of defeats the purpose of this whole thing, I might say, because you said when you were explaining this to me last podcast, you said it's to sort of like focus on one specific part of like something you're trying to achieve so that you can like maintain other parts and not progress in them if you don't need to. Sort of.
More, well, kind of. That's what it can be.
Yeah.
You focus on one thing, but it's just a guiding kind of principle. Yeah, I guess if something fits inside of it, then yes, you should do it. If it doesn't, then no. Yes, I guess that is a fair way of describing it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do everything. No, just balance, I guess. But like balance in every part of life. I'll try.
Interesting.
Also doing a lot of like standing on one leg with my eyes closed even.
I'm both amused and disappointed.
Yeah, I want to get really good at that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, balance is a hard one to do.
I might change it.
Yeah.
But because the year is still
non-existent. Yeah. And 2020. That's a thing that's coming.
An actual more concrete, tangible goal that I would want to work on, I would say, is languages, or just language in general. Become a better speaker and keep my French and solidify my Spanish and maybe take up Tamil.
Okay.
Tamil is pretty left field, but it's
Yeah.
just a personal one I would want to learn.
So on like goals, resolutions, themes, that kind of stuff, just trying to clarify what they all are. I think the reason that resolutions are dumb is that they occupy this middle ground between wishing for something and having a goal that you're expecting yourself to like complete,
Yeah.
because you're making like a vague commitment to like be healthier, and maybe you have some goals, but like you never really achieve them, and you just kind of disappoint yourself.
Yeah.
I think the good thing about themes is that there is no concrete thing to them or goal to achieve. This is supposed to be something fairly vague. There's nothing to it necessarily, but other things you can have like key deliverables or goals or whatnot.
Okay.
And those ones should be like planned out, like actionable, like concrete, like timetable, doable things.
My theme will be speaking.
Okay.
Which is good news for this
Toastmasters.
podcast.
Come on, man.
Oh, I don't know. Might just hit up Spanish Toastmasters.
There probably are some. I don't know.
Probably. I don't know.
I mean, there definitely are some worldwide. I don't know.
Oh,
about
in Spain.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Just speaking in general will be my theme for this year. Yours is going to be marketing.
Yeah.
Mine is going to be speaking.
Okay. And that covers like languages and the podcast a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
And just speaking to crowds or at work doing presentations, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is sort of your one from like this year, kind of. That you've just sort of gotten better at already. But
kind of. Yeah, a little bit. I have definitely gotten better at that.
Teach me, senpai.
Can do.
Yeah.
May or may not be giving a workshop on speechcraft like once or twice next year. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I might just have to reach if it's at a time when I do not have class or something.
We'll see. I don't know when it's going to be scheduled yet.
There we are. Everyone, hold us to them no matter what country you're in. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like physically. Like find us and like hold our face to the computer screen with this podcast playing and be like, hey, do it.
Yeah, say exactly that. Just, hey, do it.
And they'll be like, all right. And then we'll do it.
Shit, I forgot. Thank you.
Yeah. That's it. That's all we ask, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a small price.
Yeah.
So is there any like concrete stuff you're thinking of for this podcast for the next year?
I don't know. What's the next commitment we make? Do it for another year?
Oh, yeah.
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 I would say the whole next year. It's going to be nice just to do something for that long that you can actually observe the work from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say, like, you're just doing most hobbies and commitments for a year. You don't have a physical catalog of everything you've done, but with this, you can actually look at the work all throughout. More your work than mine because you edit. But you can actually look at the stuff throughout and be like, oh, this is the one from then. This is the one from then. Oh, look how many we've made. Yeah,
that's the coolest shit about like digital creation is that every time you make something, that's up there forever. You have just created a thing that people can consume for as long as you leave it up there, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
Who knows if people are downloading it? I don't know. That's an option on the website. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's the neatest thing. So even if we go through busy times, there's still like a back catalog of stuff for people to listen to.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
And so, keep up the podcast until December 31st, 2020. Oh boy.
That's a ways away, yeah.
Yeah, next year's going to be the beginning of the 20s. Are you ready for some jazz music and some flapper outfits and some economic depression?
Shit, right. Forgot about that.
We better reference this exact part of this podcast number 12, in our one next year.
Okay.
Which should be, if everything goes to plan, approximately podcast number 36.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, should be. Hopefully.
but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Hopefully at least 36.
You know what? I did watch a video the other day that
Yeah.
a creator I like called Matt Diavella
Okay.
made.
Oh,
He-
he's the minimalist guy. isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have already talked about him on the podcast.
Yeah.
So he made a video called the 3-year rule,
Yeah.
where he said that if you're really going to commit to something, you should commit for a long time. He said at least like 3 years or so.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because that is really the point at which like you're going to succeed. You're not going to become an overnight success in anything just
Yeah.
doing it for a few weeks or months or even years. You have to keep going for like the long run.
Okay, well, let's see. I did vegetarianism for more than 3 years.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I've been doing school now for 3 years and I haven't quit yet.
Yep. I'm about to. So
Yeah. Well, hey, it's your third year, so
yeah,
you're good.
so there you go. That's fine.
The podcast. Let's take it at one single year at a
All
time,
right, yeah,
but
no, that's fair. That's fair.
but that sounds pretty doable.
Let's do another year.
And
2020, here we come.
yeah, I can't think of anything else I've done for 3 years. But
I mean, the other types of school, but that's kind of
High
forced
school.
on you.
I did high school for more than 3 years, actually.
Oh boy, big man over here doing
4.
4 years of high school. Oh shit, that's what I did too.
Wow, very cool.
Far out, man.
That sounds like a pretty good rule, but that might cause some issues for some personality types. Because that sounds very rational and level-headed. Of him, like, if you want something to commit to, like, commit to it. Like, hold yourself to at least, like, a long amount of time.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if you're, like, for instance, for something like doing a podcast where it's actual, like, measurable things, that would make sense. But if it's something, you'd have to be very careful how you formulate that commitment. Because if it's just be healthy for, like, 3 years, then, like, that's pretty hard to define.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. You do need to get a little bit more specific with it
Yeah.
than be healthy.
Yeah. Let's say you're like, I'm going to commit to volunteering at a homeless shelter once a week. That's the sort of thing where you could be like, I will do that every day for 3 years. So
yeah,
it's like 52
that's very
times.
specific. Yeah.
Yeah. So because that, like, if you say you're going on vacation, you could just volunteer twice in 1 week. So that, like, or like 3 times if it's like a 2-week vacation or something.
Yeah.
So you can, like, it'll still be like 52 times a year. Because I feel like it would have to be something concrete.
Yeah, that's true. To be able to keep on going with it
Yeah.
in the long term, you do need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
And
agree.
it couldn't be something nuts. Like, a lot of people seem to want to start something like at the highest level. Like, oh, I'm going to work out for an hour and a half every day. Like, you can't hold yourself to that for even a full week.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
So it'd have to be realistic and very specific.
Hmm.
But if it is, I feel like that's a great plan. If it's both realistic, well thought out, and specific.
Yeah, I need to do one of those for working out or exercise. Have a minimum viable product kind of every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could do every week too. So if there's some days where it's just not, you could say you want to work out or like exercise for a total of 7 hours a week. So then if it's like Saturday and you've got like 1, then you're like, well, guess I'm going for a really, really long hike today.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I know, even that sounds like too large for a minimum viable commitment for me.
You could do like 5 hours a week.
Yeah, maybe.
Because then that's like something like 48 minutes a day. Or whatever, if you break it over 7 days. And that's still like, let's say you've worked out 2 days of the week and it's Saturday. Then that's only 3 more hours you need to do between Saturday and Sunday, which is not insane.
That's a long time to spend in the gym.
Well, that'd be over 2 days, though. 3 hours
No,
over
still,
2 days. Isn't
hour
it?
and a half in the gym sounds
It
weird.
doesn't need to be in the gym either. It could
Or
just be like
in general. Yeah.
going for a brisk walk, going for a run, going for a swim, maybe.
I was thinking more like go outside as a minimum viable product for every day. Because like that's not something that happens every day, but it should.
Like you don't leave your apartment for a whole day.
Yeah.
I would
Or like for a few days.
go nuts. I
It
actually
just happens sometimes.
like I literally cannot stay inside for the whole day. Like if it's like the afternoon and I haven't gone outside, I'm like like I just like will like walk around the block or something just because I'm like the air.
Yeah, no, it just happens sometimes. Like, I don't have school Thursday. Sometimes I'll skip on Friday. So it's just like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe I'll go get groceries. I need to go out and walk more.
That is a
Or
good one
just
then.
do something. Yeah.
Just like go for an maybe just like go outside and walk or run each day.
Yeah.
No matter
definitely.
how long, just like get outside.
Yeah.
Breathe that good downtown Toronto air.
Yeah.
So that sounds pretty doable, to be honest. That's not something I imagine that you'd like stress out over if it's like
It's just a quick walk.
yeah,
Something
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go around the block.
Yeah, like if it's like 10 p.m. Like obviously unless you're like ill or something, then that's fine.
If you're sick, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah,
Take the day.
yeah. If it's like you've been doing homework all day and it's like 10 p.m., you can just go for a quick little jaunt around the block, and then
Yeah.
you'll feel a bit better than if you hadn't.
Definitely. Yeah.
At least I find for sure. Like if I've been
I
like,
agree.
sitting all day,
Yeah.
and then I walk for like 15 minutes in the evening, I feel like a whole lot better.
So much better. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
That's good.
Yeah.
Can't really think of something like that for me. Maybe I might actually join some sort of speaking thing like Toastmasters, but
Oh, yeah?
maybe.
Oh, boy. I can fill you in on all this stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sure your dad can as well. but,
Yeah.
like,
My father is also a master of toast
yeah, it sounds like he has done it for a long time.
for quite a long time.
Has quite a bit of experience.
Yeah. So maybe I might go about it in other ways too. I'm not sure.
Fair enough. I mean,
But-
Toastmasters is what you make of it. You can come as often as you want. It's just a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a few, I think, that I want to do. Just implementing minimum viable products in a couple areas.
Okay.
Like, partly based off of actually a CGP Grey video
Yeah.
that I keep on going back to. It's really good. The 7 ways to maximize misery.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually watched that one. That was really good. It's just
Yeah.
like a little cheeky way of saying how to be happier.
Or it's just saying, hey, if you're doing any of these things, you are maximizing the misery in your life. One of which was move.
Yeah, his move as little as possible.
Yeah.
Ideally, everything in the same room.
Yeah.
And,
Your all room. Yeah.
Not outside.
So my sitting just by my desk basically all day and then moving the few feet to my bed isn't great.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm thinking, okay, go outside and then maybe like have like a minimum amount of like calisthenics, something like 25 of a few things or something.
One
That's-
Punch Man. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups,
See,
100 squats.
okay, I
every
wanted
day.
to do that, but it's not possible
That's
for me
something-
right now.
I wouldn't make that a minimum viable
No.
product. I would make that something you try.
Yeah.
Just to see if you can do it for like a month. But
Yeah.
that's a little bit of just an actual goal, not a minimum viable
that's not a
product.
minimum. Yeah, minimum viable product is it's something that'll, especially like numbers wise, will vary by person. Like some people can't even do 1 push-up right now, so you have to start
Yeah.
off with like 1 and work your way up to like 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I think I can do like 25 right now. That's pretty comfy. That's easy to do in like 5 minutes
Yeah.
of each, right? Yeah.
For less than 5 minutes, probably.
Yeah, because I figure like push-up, sit-up, squat, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
just like getting yourself moving.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit of exercise so I don't become an actual blob.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
That kind of stuff. I don't know what else. I've been thinking about like a meal prep kind of minimum viable, but I'm not sure yet exactly what that would be.
There's an interesting app I was told about. I forget what it's called. I'll look it up right now so we can potentially put it in the show notes. But I was told about it.
What's it called? Fabulous? No.
Oh, what is that?
That's just a habit building app.
Oh no.
Tried it for the day and then didn't give up
Didn't
on
build the habit.
No, actually. The first habit it gets you to build is to drink a glass of water when you wake up.
Oh, I
I still
already do
can't
that.
consistently do that.
I'm just really thirsty when I wake up, so I just do that.
Yeah. I should.
Oh, here it
It's
is.
nice,
It's
but-
Forest. It's spelled just normal. Forest. Stay focused.
Oh
I
yeah,
believe
I've
this
heard
is
of that. Yeah.
it. Is this it?
What's that about? Pitch it. Do it. Go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is it. One of my friends told me about it for studying, and it's a study timer where I believe it's 25 minutes unbroken, just like it works basically as a timer for studying, where it's just like you said, it's like 25-minute study intervals.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a catch, like for as long as you leave it undisturbed during that, like I think it's 25 minutes study, 10 minutes break or
Would
something.
be 5. That's the
5
usual
minutes.
Paulo.
Oh yeah, 25 minutes study,
Yeah.
5 minutes break.
Yeah.
For as long as it goes, there's a tree that grows, and when you exit the app, the tree dies, and if it reaches a certain point, then it just stays, and a new tree grows. So over time, you want to sort of build a forest. And look at all the progress you've made studying. I guess it's like the forest of knowledge you have in your mind.
Yeah.
But it's a concrete way of looking at all the hours you've spent studying over a certain period of time. In like, it's an actual physical way. It's like, oh, look at all these trees.
I love that. Slight side tangent. It'd be sick if every time you essentially cut down a tree, it forced you to donate $1 to Team Trees.
That's actually
That'd be so good.
That's what another friend asked him. They're like, "Oh, does it actually like plant this tree?" And he's like, "Nah, it's not, it's not a real tree." But that'd be cool.
That would be sick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so if people are having trouble studying, that might work.
Yeah, honestly, I might download that as well. That'd be good.
Life hack: just let it go when you're sleeping. Don't do that.
That did come to my mind. Like, you could literally just leave the app forever. Oh, this is genius.
And grow so many trees.
Just don't ever use your phone.
Yeah. Just buy a new phone just to grow trees.
Just to grow virtual trees on. Yeah, 100%.
Of course, that's some cookie clicker shit. Better hold us to our goals. Or not our goals, our themes.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to make some goals. I guess we set a couple goals there.
Yeah. If we fail, it's your fault.
I'm tempted to make it public, like have some kind of spreadsheet that people can view that I have to like check off every day.
Okay. See, that's scary though. I don't want to do that.
Oh, 100%. It's like with Gray, he has or at least he had, I don't know if he still does, a Twitter bot that just automatically tweets out whenever he steps on his scale and like what the number is. Yeah, and he did it like every morning.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yikes. I don't know.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It was interesting because like people would be like, he'd get messages from people like just competing with him, like looking at the Twitter bot every day to see how they're doing in comparison.
See, that's cool.
Yeah.
But just, that's pretty spooky.
It was just really a commitment device for him.
That'll do it.
Seriously. Yeah.
The entire Earth has access to how much you've progressed on this one theme.
So I'm tempted. Maybe sometime in December when I'm a little less busy and I'm editing this podcast, I will hear this again and decide to make the spreadsheet. If I have, it'll be in the show notes.
This is September.
Yeah. So I have a few months to get around to it.
Yeah.
Finish up the goals.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much, we've covered the past, present, and future of this podcast. Very Ebenezer Scrooge style.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of value people are getting from this episode. It's felt very randomly. Maybe I'll be able to cut it together, but we'll see.
I feel like we're talking about a lot of interesting topics that have absolutely nothing to do with each other.
It's all just on the theme of how the year has gone and looking forward to the next one.
And stuff to do with the year. Yeah.
And it's just an example of us looking back and trying to see like all the good stuff that's happened and what we're looking forward to next time.
Here's to another year of speaking. Hey.